funny. And so I'm like, where you live? I'm like, all right. So I called my producer. He and I are talking, and I said to myself, God is in this conversation. And I do want you to know that, because for me,
my work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get.
I did not seek you out.
Yes.
And I flew in town. I flew in my producer, and I said, in order for me to have a conversation with her, I need to feel her. I need to be able to like look her face to face, eye in the eye. And I needed to, like I do all of my guests,
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this volume up over here to see if I can hear. Okay, yeah. Okay, so can y'all hear me? Hopefully y'all can. Okay, good. Everybody can hear me. All right, let's jump into it, right? Because I'm only gonna, now that because we done already took so long over on the other live, so I'm gonna try to like break this down again. This is my first impression, and I'm gonna try to give it like 30 minutes.
I want to feel the energy from you. What I will say before I get started with the questioning, you are very likable right now.
I really am. This one, man.
Listen, Chantel,
you not just be there. You kind of got introduced to the world.
You're very likable. Your spirit. I didn't know what I was going to get coming into this. I didn't know if you were rightfully so in a different space, but what I want the raindrops to know right now,
So in case y'all don't know, because I know some of y'all probably already watched the video. So Chantel reached out to Carlos King and she wanted to do the interview. Carlos King didn't reach out to her, but let me go ahead and screenshot this picture of Carlos King, child, because girl, I might need this in my arsenal for later on. Let me go ahead and get this little screenshot. All right, let's get back into it.
This is real. Y'all know I don't lie to y'all. Your energy is infectious. You're in a great mood. You're beautiful on camera. You're stunning in person. You have been a meme for the past couple of days. So before we get started, I do want to ask you, with all things considered, mentally.
That's what she get as far as her being a meme. You wanted a moment with your mama, and now you're going to have a moment forever. You're going to have a moment to share with your children and your grandchildren forever.
Mentally, how are you doing?
I think I'm doing a lot better
now than I was when this first dropped and when this first happened. I think I was in a really dark space. And even though I knew that it was coming, because obviously I was there in Hawaii when it happened and I didn't know how much they would show, but I was kind of bracing myself through the green screens and the interviews that I did. I answered questions that let me know, like, all right, this is going to see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? This is not a fight or whatever that they're going to scrap. And so even though I try to prepare myself, it's just different when you're in it and you have millions of people just saying the wildest stuff. I mean, they've wished death on me. They tell me when they see me, they gonna curb stomp me on Jackie's behalf. And I'm like, you want to go to jail for Jackie? Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, I get how crazy this looks, right? Like it's terrible. It is terrible. I'm not negating that fact. But you guys are judging me based on how I'm handling someone that has been in my life for 32 years, right?
Which I think is valid. I think that's valid. You're handling this woman. You're 32 years old. This is your mom. We're judging you based on how you're dealing with we're judging you. I think that's valid. I think we have the right. I think in general, everybody has the right to judge, but nobody's judgment matters more than God, the higher ups, the universe, Allah, whoever you believe.
And you guys are seeing 32 minutes of an episode. And so it's very hard to carry that weight. But, you know, I make the joke to people. I'm like, I didn't only inherit her neck. I also inherited her thick skin. Not even being funny, but for real. Like, I know that I can take this. You know, I have a really strong support system. I have a really strong village around me that is checking in on me consistently. When I can't pick myself up, they're there to do that, whether that be my husband, my sister-in-law, my friends, whatever. Like, I've established a really strong support group.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power, not IT, not admins.
So
I'm going to tell y'all right now, my friend had my friend seen me do some shit like this on TV. My friend would have pulled up to my house. Okay. She would have pulled up to my house and she would have been like, get your shit together. Get your shit together.
I'm just taking it day by day. You know, some days it's like, these people are so ignorant. Like, I'm not even going to pay it any mind or attention. And then other days it's like, I want to argue with every single person and I want to prove myself. I want to explain myself. And I know that I can't. Like,
explain. We've been wanting you to explain. Please explain.
I can't respond to each and every one of these individuals. So this felt like the safest space to do that. And then just kind of wash my hands of it. You know, like what I say here today, this is my final statement. Like, I'm not going back and forth with anybody because I know
people always want to do messed up stuff in the world in two people and then say, yeah, I'm just going to say this and wash my hands with it. I want to just be done with it. Of course you want to just be done with it.
That this is my truth. I know what my intentions
Your mama wanted to be done with the conversation and you didn't give her that grace.
Are and what they've always been. And I'm not going to let outsiders create this narrative that really isn't me. Like, if you know me and you're just meeting me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've been around me all of 10 minutes. There are people that have known me my whole life and know, like, this is not who you are. That was a really bad moment in your life and is publicized for everybody to see, but this is not who you are. So you can't wear that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't. And I don't want that for you at all. And I'm happy that, look, after this conversation, I agree with you. They have this to watch until the end of time before obviously your next ventures. And we'll get to that too. But I want to start from the beginning. Okay.
Let's.
Who was Chantel Christie as a little girl with the parents of Doug and Jackie? Like, what was your childhood like?
Everybody used to call me the poor little rich girl. Because even though, like, my parents had money, people think that I was born with this silver spoon in my mouth, right? And of course, like, you have those material things, but I was the kid that wanted to, like, work for it. Like, I was making the family newspapers, I was trying to do hair, like, all of the little hustles. That is something that I get from my mom. You know, like, I'm a hustler at heart.
Okay, and can you explain us? Did she support you in your endeavors as you were growing up? Because And I also understand that. I'm pretty sure with anybody, it's not all bad. Like it was never all bad times. That's with anybody, any situation, any case of victim abuser, etc. Right? But I'm glad. Let's get to the point. And I agree with the person that commented in the chat and said she went to Carlos King because she didn't want to be challenged. And I agree. All the people go to Carlos King when they don't want anybody to truly challenge them. And at the end of the day, I don't know if that makes them good interviewers or not, because I like to watch interviews that challenge people's thoughts and call them out for their contradictions. And a lot of times when we do get Carlos King interviews, he's never doing that, which is why everybody that do fucked up shit feels safe going to his platform talking about the stuff that they do, because realistically he always plays on the surface with every interview, and it's never any real depth, accountability, or any real getting to the nooks and the crannies of what the people actually want to know. And I mean, I don't feel like there's any real interviewers out there besides damn Nancy Grace. Shit.
So this idea that I grew up just very privileged and like spoiled and bratty, it couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, I think that having my grandmother in the house for all of my life, literally, like she passed away when I was 18. So for 18 years, I have this incredible woman that is around dropping all these gems and kind of just raising me in the ways that my mom couldn't. You get what I'm saying? Like,
is this Doug's mother or Jackie's mother?
This is Jackie's mom.
Okay.
She's been on the show before. I think in the first season, her journey with cancer and stuff like that was kind of chronicled a little bit. And so, yeah, I mean,
no offense, but if you're paying more than $30 a month on car insurance, you're getting ripped off. Everybody knows you can buy.
Even though I didn't have maybe like a conventional or like a typical upbringing, because we moved around so much. Every time my dad got traded, we're moving. We were never stationary. Like
I agree. I never condoning threats, right? Because I ain't never been that. I ain't never condoned no threats online anyways, period.com. So I understand that, but like, y'all got to know you can't do fucked up shit on the internet and think ain't nobody going to be saying anything, or y'all not going to get no backlash. You hit your mama. What did you think was going to happen? I would like to know.
I am with my kids now, and so I experienced a lot over time, just living in Canada, living in Texas, living in California. Like I've had so many different experiences over my life that I just have I'm just a different person, than
I agree with this comment right here. Sorry not to stop and pause too long, but if you don't like to stop and pause, just go watch the interview. I'm just giving my commentary over it. This is my first impression. And I agree, Candy. She says, sadly, she had the peanut gallery egging her on. Her feelings were likely valid about her mom, but the way she went about it was wrong. She was in her emotions, and I absolutely agree. I'm not saying the way she feels about her mother is wrong, but the way she went about dealing with her mother makes her wrong. And now whatever feelings that she has that may be justified will always be overshadowed because of the way she chose to deal with her.
And I guess you would typically meet, because I've had so many experiences and I've lived so many places and I've met so many people. Like, I think in that way, I'm a little more well-rounded than maybe I present myself, like when I get upset, obviously I have a hard time talking and expressing myself, but yeah, that little girl, she still lives in me, but I think I have just kind of buried her away a little bit.
When you were a little girl growing up, your grandmother obviously lives there. You're saying that, she pretty much was, not to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming the mother figure you were looking for.
Absolutely.
You did say on camera that Jackie was obviously chasing Doug, but obviously there with her husband as he is being a basketball player. We all know Jackie Christie was at every game. Did you feel like your mother abandoned you and your siblings for her husband?
For a long time, I did feel that way. And I think that now that I'm a mother and a wife myself, and I'm married to someone that is actually in that same profession, um, I can understand her thought process or where she was coming from. Like, listen, it's all these groupies out here. I want to be next to my man, right? But what I realize now as a mother myself is that that's a choice. You can choose to go and be with your man, or you can choose to be with your children. And you made your choice, and that's okay. Like, it is what it is, and I can't go back and change it. You can't go back and change it, but you also can't tell me that that wasn't my experience.
Mhm.
When I had these
Okay, right. So ultimately, I feel like she suffers with maybe abandonment issues, right? Or maybe that's what she's alluding to. You were always out here chasing my dad, or you was always out here with my dad, and I needed that motherly love. I feel like that's valid, Chantel. I want to hear you on that. Now, where did the anger and resentment start, right? Because this is a 2-hour long interview, and I'm gonna break down every piece of this interview, even if I have to do 3-4 parts.
these basketball games, when I had these school events, when I had the parent teacher conferences, when I got my first menstrual cycle, like this my grandmother was who was there for those experiences. So that doesn't take away the fact that you gave birth to me, or that, we do have memories throughout my life. Like, I'm not taking that away from her at all, but to try to rewrite history in an effort to discredit me, that's where we differ.
There's been conversations about there seems to be so much blame with your mom, and there's none with your dad. And the two of them both made the decision to have you. They feel like Jackie gets all the smoke. They recognize that your mom may not have been the perfect parent, but they do feel like a lot of the smoke your mother gets and your father doesn't. Why is that?
Because these are my experiences. I mean, you can very well live in the same house and everybody has a different experience. And I tell a lot of people, like, my dad has had the pleasure of experiencing my mom as a wife. Me and my siblings have experienced her as a mother. And there is a difference there. And if you don't acknowledge that, or you don't understand that, I love that for you. But as for me, it was different. Like, I'm watching you put on this, like, perfect, okay, dad is on the way home, like, let me make sure everything is good and perfect. Like, I've seen it in real time. You get what I'm saying? And so now, as I said, a mother and a wife myself, especially to someone that's in the same profession, I understand how busy their schedules can get. You get up, you go work out, you got a shooting practice, you got to meet with the coach, it's a full day's work, and I get that. So when I hear people say, well, why doesn't he get any of the blame? Do y'all think that he was just sitting there and he would just watch her, like, verbally abuse me and go on about his day? Like, that's not the way that it happened. These instances didn't, I'm telling you, she's telling me, if you don't go clean your room, your dad's going to kick you down the stairs. And this is clearly, he's not here, which is why she's saying that.
Okay. So I just want to kind of pause and elaborate on this a little bit more, because I am only speaking from, like, the experiences, because I'm trying to relate to her or resonate with her. I'm trying to understand where she's coming from overall, right? And so I know I've told y'all stories about how I had the wicked stepmom that would make her son food and wouldn't make me food, right? And if I lashed out at her and called her a bitch, or I called her out her name or something like that, those were conversations that she wouldn't take back and have with my dad. And then I quickly started to realize, like, she was doing this behind his back, right? Fast forward, I also remember telling y'all, I remember when, I was, that moment before I cut my dad off, where we were having a conversation, and I was basically, talking about those moments. And he was like, yeah, but, y'all are women, right? I had to be faced with the brute reality that my daddy didn't even see me as a child in those moments. He saw me as a woman competing with his motherfucking wife, right? So he thinking we just having petty women back and forth things when I'm your fucking daughter and I need to be protected by this fucking hoe you got in our house that you know what I'm saying, that's being petty and shysty and weird and competitive with me, your child, right? So it got to a place where I had to be real as a woman. And it's not that my dad did not know this shit was happening, is that he didn't care. We got to be real, right? We got to be real, okay? It's not that he didn't know. It's that when we're talking, because I don't know who Doug is, so I'm not going to call him a narcissist, right? But it's not that I'm talking about my dad and just trying to understand and relate to Chantel in this moment. It's not that he didn't know. It's just that his narcissistic way of thinking, that triangulation was quite normal, right? It was I want my wife to be, you know, I want it's narcissists triangulate every woman in their life, whether it's their daughters, their wives, their baby mamas, their mothers, their co-workers, whatever the case may be. And that's who my father was. I'm not saying that's who Doug Christie is, but I'm saying Chantel has to get to a place in life where she has to really process everything from the root. So although you want us to sit up here and believe like, yeah, my dad didn't see my mom do this and my dad didn't see my mom do that, my daddy never seen that hoe not cook me no food. My daddy also never seen me call that lady a bitch, and he also never seen that lady tell her son to do certain things. He never seen those things, right? However, there's been times when before I was an adult, I kind of brought things up to him and nothing was truthfully really done about it, right? As you get older and as you truly start to process things and you really start to heal and self-love you, when you start to really love yourself, you start to realize that he didn't care. He didn't care. Or it wasn't as bad as you're trying to make it seem. You get what I'm saying? And again, I'm never going to be the type of person to invalidate a person's experience. So I'm going to say Chantel's experience is exactly what she's saying. You know, my mama said my daddy was going to kick me down the stairs. My mama said that my daddy was going to do this. Chantel was also saying that it seemed like, you know, there was moments where her mom never wanted, you know, her and her dad to have any alone time. Why are we blaming Jackie for that? Have your daddy not ever come to you and say, hey, Chantel, come on, let's go for a walk? Have your daddy not ever come in your room and just kick it and hang out with you? Because although I have these experiences of my wicked stepmom, I also have the experiences of my dad in us in our alone time, in our bonding time, right? So I feel like I'm just trying to understand her as a whole, you know what I'm saying? And just understand the situation as a whole.
But I think that the viewers are in some ways choosing to be willfully ignorant and say, well, why are you putting all the blame on her? I'm speaking about my negative experiences with her. If that's the blame, I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it by all means. But I didn't have the same sort of negative experiences with my dad that I have with my mom. And I think that that's a story for a lot of people out here, that you do have a great relationship with one parent and they can very well still be married. I think that my dad has shown over these last 3 decades that he will will love her through and through.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try to love you out of this. I'm going to try to love you into being a better person and all of these things. So I don't want to speak on their marriage. I think that what I did and said on the show in regard to their marriage was very tacky and tasteless. And I think that being a wife myself, like, I don't want nobody to do that to me. So just because I'm upset, like, girl, all right now, like, you know what I'm saying? But in that moment, I just saw red and I just felt so like, you're really playing in my face. And like, now I'm just unloading the clip. Like, you know what I mean? And saying things that I typically wouldn't, or that I know that I shouldn't, but here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now we both rolling around in the pig pen, looking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope I'm saying your name right, Latata. I'm sorry if I'm not. I think this is an interesting comment. I think this is a very, very interesting comment, considering Eve's Bayou, I feel like, held multiple layers, deep spiritual layers in it, right? And I think that movie is also about how you perceive certain things. That's what that ending was, right? Because the ending was your perception. And so you perceived a little girl to want her father in an intimate way versus perceiving a young girl as maybe going through, I don't know how to explain it, but Eve's Bayou is a very, very deep conversation, and it has everything to do with the perspective. And unfortunately, this comment is interesting.
I don't know. I think the tough times that I have had with my dad over the years, whether it was as a teenager or whatever, he's always apologized. He's always set the standard. He's always taken accountability. If there was something that he did wrong, he stood on that. And he parented me in a way that I respect.
Okay, so I like that. She's basically saying, my dad has always been accountable for this, that, and the third. So that's what made me respect him. That's what made me do this, that, and the third. And I have to say, I kind of understand where she's coming from, right? Because I told y'all stories like we'll get into it.
Like, we may not have always had this perfect relationship.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
But I respect the way that you've treated me. And I tell people, I say, I wasn't raised, from as far as my mom goes, I wasn't raised on respect. I was raised on fear. And because of that, I believe that when you get to a certain age or a certain point in your life, that fear dissipates. And then it's like, I'm looking in your face and I'm telling you, I'm not scared of you.
I think so too. And I think most men do that. It's selfishness, right? And which is what makes me like, maybe you should question your dad a little bit more. She also said her dad has always been accountable. So I wonder if she can go to her dad right now and have a conversation and say, hey, I feel like you didn't protect me enough as the man of our household, and you didn't stand up enough as the man in our household, or you allowed mom to do this, that, and the third as the man of our household. I wonder how he would respond then. And I wonder if she's ever had that type of conversation with him.
And so that's what I think that the viewers aren't really understanding. We didn't have this close, locked in mother-daughter, come lay down on your shoulder, tell you, like, we didn't have that my whole life. We've tried. We've had those moments that you do see on the show from previous seasons where we're out and we're shopping and I got my daughter, and we've tried to have those moments, but we don't have that. And that's okay.
Well, listen, I'm going to go on a limb and say that's not okay. You know what I mean? It's not okay, because one thing I even said in my recap was, and we'll get to the incident in later, But one thing I did say was, I believe your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not here, I wasn't there on the Zoom to negate your experience.
Right.
And
That's what I'm saying. I believe her experience. I don't want to invalidate her experience. I don't know, y'all. Let's keep going.
in person, I'm not
I got about 2 more minutes, right? Because I'm gonna just give it 30 minutes.
there to negate your experience. I was blessed as a Black person to have both parents in the household. I was the quintessential mother's boy before she passed away. And I've been honest with my raindrops about me and my father were not close growing up. I was scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
He put fear in me. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that just how he was raised, and we'll get to that in a second too. So I disagree with you. I don't think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is okay though to talk about it. And I do think it's okay to listen. Just because it's the minority to say things about your childhood experience that you know to be true doesn't mean it's not your experience. Yes, the overwhelming population of the Black household that we both grew up.
And again, okay, it's not that we're not saying her experience isn't true. We're trying to understand what the experience is. I think that's the disconnect. I don't think people are necessarily saying she's not telling the truth. I think her behavior is very off-putting and is very telling of a person that's more vindictive versus like hurt. I don't know how to explain that, but I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know if y'all understand what I'm talking about. I have watched every episode of Basketball Wives this season because this situation alone, I really wanted to understand it. And I might have to go ahead and do a few debunkers and dissecting of it all as a whole, because I just can't process Chantel and what it is that she's trying to communicate, because she hasn't communicated it. All she's communicated was that she is angry with her mother, but we don't know why. And I feel like, why? I want to understand you, Chantel. I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to understand what caused you to be so angry. I want to understand what was that pain that threw you into the gas. That threw you into the driver's seat to hit the gas, to be so vindictive and spiteful and mean and angry. Like, I know a girl, not to say that this is right, but this is what I mean when I say healing versus spoiled brattiness, right? I know a girl whose mom literally used to embarrass her and get on the internet and talk shit about her all the time when she didn't like what her daughter would do. I've seen this girl literally have real physical brawls with her mom and not touch her mom, hit her mom back or anything. I've seen this girl grow up and get to a space where she's hurt, heartbroken. She wants to have these conversations with her mom. Her mom is still a bitter, angry, nasty, mean, evil person. And it sparked up anger. And I've seen this anger displayed in this girl, but never in a way in which Chantel has displayed her anger toward her mom. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what's very interesting across the board is that the people that really have the parents that are like really, really problematic, not to say that Jackie isn't, because I believe that Jackie is very problematic, which is why I'm so fucking annoyed that Chantel got me on Jackie's side in this moment, right? Because I wanted to understand Chantel. But it's that I've seen people have the worst of the parents, and at the end of the day, they just want to be heard and they want to heal. They want to have understanding. Even when they lash out, it's never with the intent to actually hurt somebody. They're always lashing out because they want to be heard. So when I seen Chantel sit down with Jackie on a number of occasions, and Jackie is like, okay, what's the problem? Well, I'm not going to talk about that in front of these people, but what's the this? What's the that? We can't say that Jackie wasn't necessarily willing to have the conversation. Chantel never allowed the conversation to get to a place for Jackie to be like, okay, well, we're not having this conversation or we're not doing this, right? And I think that's what the disconnect is. I think Chantel thinks she has shown or displayed that version of Jackie when we didn't get that version of Jackie. We saw a mother that had made mistakes but was willing to communicate with you about them, but not in front of people that were egging you on or trying to profit off of her family's traumas and pain. And the reason why this sets apart from so many other people that I know personally that deals with real toxic parents, they would love for their parents to sit down the way Jackie sat down with you and said, okay, what's the problem? Okay, what's the problem? My issue is every time Jackie said, what's the problem? Chantel met her with, oh, really? You know what the problem is. And it's like, maybe she don't know what the problem is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she does, but you tell us what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? And I think Chantel, I've been at a place too many times where I'm like, Chantel, please get it out. What is it? What is it? Just tell me. And I think like literally like as a viewer, as somebody that I feel like has gone through kind of traumatic experiences with my parents, I am trying to hear her, but she's not saying anything worth being heard. Okay, y'all, but that's what I have for right now, right? So, and I'm sorry we didn't get that far. We literally only got 18 minutes into the video, and if y'all didn't watch my last video, I was starting there, and I kind of was just giving y'all my perspective before I wanted to interview it. So we got both. So I got my perspective out the way, and we got a little bit of the beginning out the way. I'm going to read some of the comments, and then I'm going to go ahead and close out this live because I have so much to do today, y'all. And it is my birthday season. Yes, and thank you to everybody that has sent me cash apps today. Like, girl, thank y'all. I appreciate it. My birthday is in August. I don't necessarily always give my exact date. I remember telling y'all that, I was going to do like a little boat thing, like do a little yacht thing. But I'm like, and I was going to invite some of the subscribers, but I'm not going to be doing that. First of all, it's too much going on YouTube. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, girl, it's just a lot going on, child. So I'm just trying to like have my moments for myself. But let me just read some of y'all comments before I get out of here. And thank y'all so much for your birthday wishes and cash apps, PayPals, etc. Somebody said this girl is just ignorant. Somebody said she didn't do the show to embarrass Jackie, but I feel that's exactly why she did it. That's exactly why she did it. Somebody said she never said what her mom actually did, and also the season of Basketball Wives, she sat down and told her sister's story. I agree. She never actually said what the issue was. She's her mother's daughter. Right. She said she did it. Right. Sounds like she stuffed from narc abuse, she suffered from narc abuse, emotional abuse, and from put downs and criticisms. Right. I agree. I feel like if anything, she definitely suffered from emotional abuse. I agree. I'm not invalidating that. I'm not, for sure. I feel that. I always say we are reflections. We are, no matter what, whether you like it or not, a reflection of our parents' lack thereof, or, we're a reflection of our parents and their lack thereof. So if you had a very active parent, but they spoiled you, you will be a reflection of that. If you had a very abusive parent that traumatized you, you will be a reflection of that, whether you're a positive reflection of that and you choose to push things forward and not repeat that, or if you are a negative reflection of that and you're the exact same person as the people that abused you. You are always a reflection of your parents and their lack thereof. Somebody says she says she didn't do. Oh yeah, I already read that. Chantel behavior is that of a child arguing for attention, in my opinion. I agree. Somebody says she got the special treatment. She has the sense of entitlement until she became the age and Jackie started saying no. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. I'm just saying. Especially, and I also believe that because of how she chose to respond to her sisters. Y'all, I have a whole beef with my father because of how he treats my sisters. I don't even have a relationship with my dad because he don't want to treat my sisters with equal love as he's willing to treat me, right? So my beef with my daddy isn't even because he don't want to be in my life or nothing like that. It has everything to do with he don't want to show up for my younger siblings the way that he's shown up for me, and I'm not going to kiss his ass, or I'm not going to not hold him accountable. And if you feel like your behavior to one child is okay versus the other, then I'm not going to be around you or co-sign that, because at the end of the day, at this point now you're trying to triangulate your children. So I agree, right? I could have been the child to where, oh, yes. The minute he tell me no, like, oh, well, you're da-da-da-da. Oh my gosh. Anyways. And the way she responded to her sisters, it lets me know she's not an empathetic, sympathetic person. She is about the one-ups. That's it. That's all. And she's entitled and she's spoiled and she's a brat and she's selfish. Because I would have been like, Takari, listen, you've had your experience with mom or whatever. I'm trying to share my story. I love you. I'm not reiterating your story. I'm trying to whatever, right? But she's like, she made it. Oh God, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. I have never seen Jackie act like that with Chantel. All those times she's been on the show, I see Jackie exactly. She's always been a favorite. Like Jackie literally went up against Drea for Chantel. We're gonna get into it, y'all. I'm gonna have to break this down though. So if y'all gonna be rocking with me while I break this down, rock with me. I'm gonna try to really get it all done either by tonight or tomorrow. And then I'm gonna have to throw together some debunkers and stuff because I just can't get with Chantel sometimes. But I'm gonna watch this whole interview and I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm really not gonna go watch any more of it. I'm gonna watch it all with y'all, even if y'all already seen it. Why didn't she say this about Jackie when Jackie was agreeing with her and going up against her for Drea? Exactly, because Jackie was doing something for her in those moments. That's how spoiled entitled brats are. As soon as you stop doing shit for them, now they want to air all your business out. Why some of y'all keep calling her a child? Enjoyed this. Glad you're doing several parts. Thanks, Queen Liz. Thank you. 2 queens, 1 king said to B Jones. Do you have Zelle? Oh, Aries. I actually don't have Zelle. I actually don't have Zelle. Mine is on the 13th. Leo season. Okay, y'all. Oh my gosh. We might have to do some link ups. Like, okay, so if y'all are in any of these cities, I'm gonna tell. I don't know. I ain't gonna tell y'all. I don't know, chill. Girl, if you in Virginia, if you in Atlanta, and if you in Miami in August, DM me. Well, I don't know if y'all like to hang out, child, because I will be hanging out in all the states. Oh, let me not say that. Thank you, Queen Liz. Leo season. I am so happy. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I am getting up there. I'm about to be 28. Okay, so yes, Jackie is problematic. Chantel has so much animosity against her mother. I don't understand why Chantel has such disdain towards her mother and never expressed the problem. Right. I can't right. Like, I want to hear her out, but she's not actually expressing what the issue is. Yes, Leo season. Happy birthday. Yes, y'all. All the Leos, y'all need to be literally in the chat every time I go live, girl. Y'all need to be in the chat. The son is the favorite and the other daughter felt left out. Well, you know what? That's the thing. I can see that. The son is the favorite as a whole across the board with all toxic moms, unfortunately. And I think this is in all communities. I've seen this in all communities, but we're not talking about Indian, African, Jamaican, white. We ain't talking about their communities right now. We talk about just the Black community, right? I've seen this in all of the communities, but the Black community is what I'm talking about. The son is always the favorite. And everybody always talk about they're a good mom, but I only judge a woman on her parenting in how she chooses to deal with her daughter. Because a lot of times not a lot of times, some women see themselves in their daughters and then they hate them. They hate their daughters because they see too much of themselves in their daughters, the parts of themselves that they may hate. And some women can even be jealous of their daughters, right? Which I feel like I have a few examples on, that, but that's besides the point. So I can see Chantel not caring that she's the favorite daughter, right? Because she's the favorite daughter in comparison to the dark-skinned daughter, but in comparison to her brother, then she, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see her being upset, and I could see Jackie with that toxic way of thinking, like probably making Chantel clean all the dishes, even clean up after her brother. Granted, they grew up with money, so they probably had, services or whatever, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. This was a great breakdown. Thank y'all. We're going to be coming back, y'all. We're going to be coming back. I'm sorry I couldn't really, give it everything today, but we're going to be coming back. Thank you, Candy. Your Cash App still the same from a while ago. Y'all know when all of that stuff started happening with Maurice or whatever, I had to actually change my my Cash App. So my Cash App is Click Me to Pay, which I don't like that name, right? I'm gonna change that name, right? It just feels so, but I had to do it like that because I thought I was going to be able to get my Here for Hot Tea Cash App tag back, and I just never went to check on it. But I do my Cash App tag. I've been it's Click Me to Pay, but it's in my I updated it, which is how I feel like, which is how some of the people have found it. And thank y'all for really thinking about me. Like the fact that it's on your brain, like, oh, it's August, it's your birthday month, and like Cash Apps, that's like the sweetest thing ever. And thank you, Aries, for your $59 super sticker. You started my birthday off. Yes, y'all. Yes. Start my birthday off. Yes. Because I really am going to try to give y'all a video every day for my birthday month. Oh my gosh. But thank y'all so much. I got to go and get my hair done today. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know, y'all think pieces and just parts that y'all want me to mention and bring up in the other parts of this video. But I gotta go for now. Bye. Thank y'all so much.